Good morning and welcome to the video for 4th grade for Tuesday, January the 5th. Today we're going to be looking at our daily math review. So instead of doing a new Go math lesson, we are going to work on the top and bottom sections of this particular page. So the goal of this video is to kind of talk through what to do for each problem. Hopefully, you guys remember how to do all this stuff. I will give a couple practice examples for different things along the way. So especially for number 5, if you're already looking at that, I can go ahead and help you figure out what type of problem we're going to be doing and then how to do that problem, because it's been a while since we've had to do that kind of multiplication. So for number 1, what I would recommend, like I always do in the classroom, if we're adding or subtracting, make sure to write the problem out. So if we need to carry when we're adding, you know exactly where to do that. If we need to regroup when we're subtracting, you know exactly where we need to do that. So it looks like we're doing addition here, so we don't have to worry about regrouping so much as carrying. So you could probably work this out without having to rewrite it, but I would always recommend that you do that. Number 2, they've already written it out the way that I would ask you to write number 1 out. So it's just a matter of making sure we follow the correct rules for addition. Number 3, we are rounding to the tens place. So when we are rounding, we need to first find the tens place, which you guys haven't had as much practice with. So I'm going to go ahead and help you out here because we haven't worked with decimals very much. The tens place is going to be the number directly to the right of the decimal point. So for instance, this one would look like we would have 95 cents if we wrote it out compared to $1 and put a dollar sign in front. This one would look like 95 cents. So I have 9 in the tens place. I'm going to look at the digit to the right of that. If that digit is 5 or larger, I need to round up. If it's 4 or less, I need to round down. So again, we can go ahead and do the same thing for all 3 of those there. For this one, we need to remember that there are 60 minutes in an hour. And so what we could actually do is start counting up by hours first, and then we need to count up 15 minutes from there. That will take us to a new hour. So we will kind of be regrouping or carrying, but we're not going to write this out as an addition problem. There was a way that we did that in 3rd grade, but I don't think we even talked about that. So for my people that are new this year, you probably won't have seen how to do the addition part of this, writing it out as an actual written problem. So what I would tell you to do is just go ahead and do mental math. So start with adding 3 hours to the 2 hours here. And then we need to count forward 15 minutes. If we're 55 minutes, we're 5 minutes away from the hour. And so we can use that to help us. And then number 5, we are doing a multiplication problem. So I'm going to work a similar problem out here, but with different numbers so that I'm not giving you the answers. So let's say I want to do I don't want to do 15. Yeah, I do. I'm going to do 15 times 12. And so with my new layout here, my mouse cursor may leave the screen. So I'm trying to make sure I've got everything situated. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to do 2 times 15, and that's going to give us the answer for our top row. So 2 times 5 would give us 10. We would carry a 1. 2 times 1 gives us 2, plus 1 gives us 3. And then the second row, after we put a 0 in for our placeholder, is going to be the answer to 10 times 15. And so we would do 1 times 5. That would give us a 5 here. 1 times 1 gives us 1. And then we can add our top and bottom rows together. That would give us 180. So those are the steps that we need to do to solve this particular problem. 22 times 15. Go ahead and help everybody out with that part. I would feel really bad if we read through this and then we figured out that 22 times per minute and then 15 minutes led someone to believe that they were supposed to add those numbers together. we would not be trying to do that in a fourth grade word problem. We're probably going to be doing multiplication or division of some kind. If we're doing addition, we're going to be working with numbers like this or possibly with time. So just to give you an idea what to do for that. And if you need to go back and see the individual steps, it's going to work the exact same way with these numbers as what I did here. If you need to rewind the video, go ahead and do that. Now for day 2, whoopsies, a little bit farther. There we go. All right. So for this one, we are going to be doing addition, or excuse me, we're going to be doing subtraction. So first thing we need to do, I'm going to go ahead and write this out to the side. Maybe. There we go. 17.4 minus 15.8. And so first thing we need to do is see if our top number is larger or equal to our bottom number. If it's not, we need to go ahead and follow the same rules as we did before. The only thing that's different with a decimal point is that our decimal point would go right here. If you want to treat it like we're doing 174 minus 158, everyone should be able to do that. You're going to get the exact same numbers, but the place values are going to be slightly different because this would be the tenths place, then the ones and the tens instead of ones, tens, hundreds. But the numbers are going to come out exactly the same. So make sure if we need to regroup that we are borrowing from the next place value to the left. We're lowering that top number by 1, and then we're adding 10 to the number that we already had here. Okay. Number 3, how many dollars are 5,000 pennies worth? So think about how many pennies there are in a dollar. If you go ahead and do that, there's a trick that we can do. We can take away the number of zeros at the end of this particular number because we would be dividing to do that. So we would be doing the number of pennies we have divided by the number of pennies in a dollar. And we can go ahead and take away some zeros to find the answer to that. Number 4, oh, I didn't really talk about this one. This is going to be similar to this one. So number 4, we want the inverse of the problem. So what they have is our subtraction problem. The inverse for subtraction would be an addition problem. So in this particular problem, we want to find the answer to the subtraction problem, which is going to be the starting number that we would add to this number to get to our large number. So we're going to do something similar to that, except we are going to be writing an addition problem using these three numbers to get back to here. Kind of in a similar way as what we did for number 2. Number 5, Kendall has dance lessons every Tuesday afternoon. About how many lessons does she have each month? So think about how many weeks there are in a month, and then that can give you your estimate. Anytime that we see the words about how many, we are always wanting to give an estimate. So there might be some months that it would be one number. There might be some months that it would be another, because for instance, we have 28 days in February. So if we started the month on a certain day, then we should have a certain number of weeks every time in that month. But if we have 31 days in a month, or 30, we might end up starting on different days of the week each month. And so if we started the month on a Tuesday, we might end up with a slightly different number. So just give an estimate, roughly how many weeks are there in a month. That should give you your number. That would be your answer. So hope that helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in Google Classroom. Hope you have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow.